The vice presidential debate has just wrapped up. It was right here in New York City, and just outside the venue, each candidate's supporters were embodying our forefathers' passion for elevated political discourse.
We're not going back! We're not going back! Suck my
We're not going back. Suck my dick. The campaign in a nutshell. Now, before we get into the actual debate, it's important to remember how high the stakes were tonight. They weren't that high. Because as I previously mentioned, it was a vice presidential debate. One of these men will lose and we'll never hear from him again, and the other one will become VP and we'll never hear from him again. So tonight probably won't matter much to the voters, but to the news media, it was a historic opportunity to get people to watch TV.
Choose your vice as anticipation builds for one of the most crucial VP debates in modern history.
One of the biggest moments of the campaign.
The most important vice presidential debate in history.
What could be the most important vice presidential debate in modern American political history.
If you were using your TV outlet for your grandma's life support, it's time to pull the plug on that bitch. That's how big this debate. I mean, are you for real? The most crucial VP debate in history? The only other VP debate anyone remembers is the time that fly got stuck on Mike Pence's head. The bar is low. Now, for those of you just tuning in to the presidential race, which, by the way, congratulations, that must be nice. Just tuning in? Let me break down who these two men are. There's Tim Walz, Minnesota governor and the neighbor from Home Improvement, and J.D. Vance, Ohio senator and guy with the social skills of ChatGPT. On paper, they have a lot in common. They're both Midwestern dads. They both have military backgrounds. They both hate Donald Trump. They both watch Shawshank every time it's on TV, even though they have it on DVD. But as much as these guys have in common, they've been going pretty hard at each other over this campaign. Walz has repeatedly called Vance weird. He made a joke about him banging a couch. And worst of all, he implied that he's a fancy boy.
Like all regular people I grew up with in the heartland, J.D. studied at Yale.
He's a Yale law guy. I'm public school teacher.
We don't need a Yale-educated philosophy major. I had 24 kids in my high school class, and none of them went to Yale.
Oh, shit. Check out this bitch and his quality education. I get what Tim Walz is doing, but ease up a little. I mean, the only person who talks more about going to Yale than Tim Walz is everyone who went to Yale. But Vance's attacks on Walz have been just as personal. He's accused Walz of stolen valor. He's claimed he's a compulsive liar. And he even suggested that Walz doesn't actually love his wife.
Talk about weird with Tim Walz. I don't know if you guys saw the rally yesterday, but afterwards, his wife comes up to him, and Tim Walz does what any normal Midwestern guy would do, seeing his beautiful wife on stage after his speech. He gives her a firm handshake. Right? That's pretty weird.
Yeah, come on, Tim. Finger blast your wife, dude. It's a rally, not a funeral. A real man greets his wife doggy style. What are you doing? Also, to be fair to Tim Walz, in Minnesota, a firm handshake is considered third base. But even though it's been personal between these two, both Vance and Walz are professionals. And that means engaging in the traditional pre-debate game of lowering expectations. It's a careful strategy where you hype up your opponent's debating skills while downplaying yours, so that even a mediocre performance seems like a win. Let's see how Tim Walz handled his attempt to lower expectations.
Sources now tell CNN that Tim Walz is fighting off a case of the nerves ahead of his debate with Senator J.D. Vance. He is said to be nervous that he might let Kamala Harris down.
And we know he did warn Harris during the vetting process that he's a bad debater.
Okay, that might be lowering expectations too much. Tim, you want to be more like, my opponent is a slick talker, not me talk bad, disappoint pretty lady. You want, I'm new to all this, not, I'm so stupid a dog used peanut butter to trick me into licking his balls.